Welcome to this episode of Inside Tulsa Athletics. Our show today will have our guests will be the wrestling coaches from Rogers, McLain, Edison, and the swim coaches from Booker T and Edison and Memorial. Well, and they'll wrap up their seasons of the winter season. We'll also have the baseball coaches from Rogers, Booker T, and Edison and talk about their spring, which starts March 1st. Stay tuned and we'll be right back with Nick Eaves, the head wrestling coach at McLain. Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and now we have the head wrestling coach of the McLain Titans, Nick Eaves. And Nick, you have two of your wrestlers with us. Introduce them.
Yes, sir. This is a senior, Nkosi Logan, 170 pounds, state qualifier, placed fifth at state this year. Excellent. Just our team leader. And here's his protege, Tate, 195-pound freshman. So he's the future of McLain, and he's going to follow in Nkosi's footsteps, I believe.
Freshman. Boy,
yes, sir.
Big for a freshman.
He's a good young man. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about your season, Coach.
Yes.
Wrestling has been a program that has continued, I think, at McLain to attract some quality student athletes.
Yes.
How do you feel about where you are in your program and where do you want to go?
I think just having these two here today is a perfect example. Now that I look at it, we have Nkosi as a senior and Mark as a freshman. And that's it. We're losing some good guys, but we're also rebuilding too. So I hope to have a stronger, more disciplined program in the future. It's what the kids are asking for. And so that's what we want to give them. And I think even you agree with that.
Oh, you bet.
We know the opportunity McLain has, and we want to see it. So the kids deserve it. They want to see it. And so we're going to just work as hard as we can to get there.
Nkosi, you've been in the program 4 years. What are the changes you see that were positive?
I see different changes. I see how, like, back 4 years ago, attitude changing between the kids. It was like more aggressive type. Now it's like kids is more willing to learn and put in the work now. So, like 4 years ago, we only had probably about 5-6 wrestlers, and we ain't really have a wrestling coach. But we had our football coach who was like a weight trainer, and he pretty much coached us. But we had a team leader named Thaddeus. He pretty much showed us like moves and stuff to get us prepared for matches.
How do you feel being a freshman being in the program?
It's pretty good. It could be better with more people.
More people. Now, have you wrestled for a long time?
First year.
First year?
Yes.
Okay. And Nkosi, how long have you wrestled?
I've been wrestling for 4 years.
4 years. So through your high school career?
Yes, sir.
Do you plan to? What do you plan to do when you graduate?
I plan on going to college for football, but if I don't go to college for football, I plan on doing wrestling.
Where do you want to go?
I want to go to like a school in Texas.
All right. And you'll be at McLain next year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, Coach, what do you look forward to? In building the program, you have a youth program. Little kids, that type of thing?
Yes, sir. We've linked up with a few local youth programs, try to get them back in our doors. In the past, they've worked real well together, and I think that's what's helped the program out in the past. So obviously that's an ingredient for this year and forward. But we've also started a junior high program there at Monroe Demonstration Academy,
yeah.
The Mustangs. So we have a 6th through 7th, 8th grade program, and like these guys, both starting this freshman year. Now we're going to start getting kids at 6th, 7th grade starting. Also working with the local programs, Pin King, there's Steed. There's 2 or 3 youth programs just real close to us. So we'll start inviting them in, let them be a part of our program as well.
Sure.
And I see great things coming. So.
Wrestling is one of those programs that they really need to start young.
Yes, sir.
I started the wrestling program at Coffeyville High School in 1970.
Nice.
They had never wrestled. Everybody else in the league had wrestled forever.
Yeah.
And so the first thing we did, we went to East Central for a tournament. And then Ark City was the preeminent wrestling school in Kansas. And so we scheduled them, and we scheduled Bartlesville because I wanted our kids to see that level of wrestling.
Right.
Because they learn for that time on the mat, watching those other guys compete. It's really important, I think,
Yes, sir.
for that.
Yeah.
As you look at your schedule next year, you mentioned that you're looking at having a tournament next year.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we'd like to bring in some money to help support these kids a lot better than we are now. We're reliable on Metro parents. They've been a blessing to our programs this year. Anything we needed, TPS was there, or things that they weren't, Metro stepped right in. It was a good booster club for us. I hope to be self-sufficient in the future. You never want to ask for help from people.
Sure.
So tournaments are one of the biggest boosters that you can do for your program's funds. So we want to do that. Plus, the kids are excited about it. They want to hold their own tournament. It's kind of a big deal.
You bet.
It's like a huge advertising tool. Show people, hey, Tulsa McLain has a program. We have the best facilities. Here we are. So
I know that when we hosted my last year there, the basketball tournament, that the Activities Association was really impressed with the facility, with the parking,
Right.
with Coach Johnson being able to be the administrator in charge there.
Yeah.
They thought it was really, really a good location.
Mhm.
And I think that'll open up that location for a lot more
Yes, sir.
OSSA events and so on through the
Uh-huh.
years, which is good for not only the school, but it's good for the district, and it's good
Yes,
for
sir.
Tulsa.
Yes, sir.
And so we're glad.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
guys, congratulations on your year this year, and Coach,
Yes.
I'm sure we'll have you back next year when we get back into wrestling.
I look forward to
And
it.
when we come back, we're going to have Derrick Gates, the head wrestling coach at Will Rogers High School.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against one tough competitor, glass.
That's right. Only glass bottles and jars are recyclable. Don't even think about sinking a drink in glass or mirror. Always good to empty your glass bottles and jars before recycling.
These two get it, emptying both bottles from far out, and they remove the lids. Score big by recycling your glass bottles and jars. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hill's means that you have to be consistent, outgoing, and be dedicated because students at Nathan Hill look up to the football team.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hill has taught me to be confident and disciplined, and always to be open-minded and always ready to work with people no matter how difficult it is.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have Derrick Gates, who is the head wrestling coach for both boys and girls at Will Rogers High School. Derrick, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Gil.
Introduce your guest to us today.
All right, so today with us we got two-time state placer Tanika Anderson and your 2022 state champion Samara Markwardt.
Welcome to the show, ladies. Hello. Let's talk about that state tournament. Is that probably one of the most exciting things you've ever been involved in?
For me, yeah, it's great. It's a crazy ride, but it's fun as well.
What about the crowd?
Oh my goodness, the crowd goes crazy. Even if you do like something slight, is like, wow, you can just hear everybody. So I think it's good.
What about you, Sam?
For my first time, it was overwhelming, but it was like overall, it was pretty fun, exciting to be there.
And you're going to go to college and wrestle, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Where are you going?
Carl Albert in Poto, Oklahoma.
Brand new program.
Yes.
Brand new program. I know the vice president there very well. He was a coach actually at Northeastern in football when I was the AD at Northeastern, but Bill Nowlin. So when you get to the campus, tell him that Gil Cloud told him hello. He'll know who you're talking about. Coach, let's talk about your year.
All right.
Both boys and girls, a lot of kids in the room.
Yep.
How do you feel about the program?
I think we're in a great spot. We got a great foundation because of the two ladies here on my right. You know, we set the ground for them. I mean, we graduated 5 of our 13 girls, unfortunately, but we're still bringing back 8. We're still, bringing everyone in we can. A lot of girls, when we went into like our regional tournament, they were still winning quite a few matches, the ones that are coming back. So we're pretty excited about that front. On the boys' side, graduating 4 seniors, so bringing back 8 starters. So it's pretty exciting. 2 state qualifiers on the boys' side are coming back, and then 2 more state or regional placers are coming back as well.
Well, that'll be good. Wrestling at Rogers. I'm a Rogers grad, and for extra credit in speech, I did the announcing at the Rogers wrestling matches.
Ooh, there we go.
And I got an A.
That's done a pretty good job,
which was a good deal. But wrestling, when Coach Villarreal was there, was really a big program, and it looks like it's coming back.
Yeah, trying to get it back up there with that.
That's fantastic. So, what do you think the highlight of your career was, Tanika?
I think making it back to state. I think that was good, and then not quitting on my team because it felt like some points it got rocky. So I felt like that was good too.
To be able to get to state.
Yeah.
Sam, what about you?
Placing for at regionals and going to state. My first year, I went 1 and 2 at regionals, so I didn't qualify at all and got beat out. And so it was pretty fun to be a regional champ and a state champ.
When you get to that level, did you have any anticipation that you would be there on the final night in the championship match?
I did. I mean, I never doubted myself, but I never overly stepped,
Sure.
Well, Coach, youth program. You have a youth program?
We have our middle school program. Yeah. We got our Coach Brady. He's leading the way on that, and I hop in there and help with him every once in a while. We had 12 boys and 3 girls this year, so we're getting it going. This is only our 2nd year with it, so getting the word out's the main big thing, and bringing home a couple state medals definitely helps getting the word out.
Absolutely, yeah. Kids want to be involved with winners.
Yep.
What are your plans for next year?
Well, I'm going to college for wrestle as well.
Are you? Where are you going?
Waldorf University in Iowa.
Oh yeah, yes. I spent 6 years in Iowa as a director of athletics, so I'm well aware of Waldorf. And what do you want to study?
I'm studying sports management.
Are you?
Yeah.
Going to be an AD?
Yes.
Well, good. I spent 44 years as an AD. What about you, Sam?
What am I studying? Early childhood learning.
Good. You want to be what?
Teacher.
Kindergarten?
Yeah.
1st grade? Yeah. I've always told teachers when I've done speaking engagements with them, I'll get in the room and they'll introduce me as the athletic director, and they always think, well, he's going to talk about athletics. And I said, there's a group of people in here who have more pressure on them than anybody else, and they think, well, he's going to talk about the coaches. And I said, you know who that is? Kindergarten, 1st grade. If you don't teach them how to read, we don't have a chance to educate those kids. So it's very important. Early childhood is very, very important. So, and being an athletic director is very important too. So, Coach, in the last 30 seconds we got here, what do you look forward to off season? What are your plans?
So going to be lifting a lot of weights. Going to be rolling around every once in a while. A lot of the kids are going to be doing some summer wrestling, doing freestyle and Greco. Most of the girls are going to be hopping in there. Sam's already part of one of the club teams here in Tulsa. She's bringing, most of the girls on the team, and then I think one of our junior high girls is going to go roll around with them too.
Good.
So
Excellent.
We're excited.
Well, congratulations, ladies. We're
Thank
glad
you.
the
Thank
state
you.
championship is what everybody wants to get to. Coach, good job on continuing that program in wrestling, and we'll have you back next year, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Well, when we come back, we'll have Jim Harper, who's the head wrestling coach at Edison.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is looking to defend their title against aluminum and steel cans.
Bob, most people think of the kitchen for this opponent, but aluminum and steel cans, like empty shaving cream cans, also play extremely well in bathrooms all over Tulsa. That was nothing but bin, Bob.
Wow, right into the bin. Team Johnson has buttoned up another win. Score big by recycling your aluminum and steel cans. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Booker T. Washington has taught me to carry myself with class as an athlete, student, and friend, and to have responsibility on and off the field.
Being an athlete at Memorial
in high school has taught me to be a better person. Because when you play sports, attitude is the main thing you have to deal with. Not just your own, but other people's. It also teaches you to be the bigger person.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and now we have Jim Harper, the head wrestling coach of the Edison Eagles. Jim, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We have a couple of guests today. Introduce your student athletes.
Yeah, we got Aryn Johnson, sophomore, wrestled at 220 for us, and Matthan Mason, a senior, wrestled at 170 for us.
All right. Well, we're glad you guys are here today. We're going to talk a little bit about Edison wrestling. How's that?
Pretty good. I mean, I like the program.
Do you?
Everything we do, yeah.
Everything you do? Even the running and the conditioning?
That's like the not fun part, but I think the wrestling program is pretty, like,
a necessity in that program, though.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's what you need to be a state placer.
Right. We've seen the Edison program come back some with the Booster Club and facilities that have been improved over there and everything. What's that meant to you, Jim, as the head coach?
You know, the guy who really got it all started was Ray Nunley.
Ray Nunley, you bet.
And we happened to be at the Sand Springs tournament years ago, and Ray showed up at the tournament, and we got to talking, and within a couple, 3 years, we had a new locker room, a new mat room, new mats. I mean, it's been great. You know, he brought a Booster Club into it, and which is still carried on after he passed. So it's been really good.
Ray was the wrestling coach when I was the AD at Union, and I got to know him really well. Of course, Jimmy Sellers was a very close personal friend of mine during those years of that time. But I know when Ray came to me about the Booster Club, I'll never forget it. I said, "What are you going to call them?" He said, "Well, we're thinking about calling them the Bald Eagles." Because they were all old guys that didn't have any hair. And, but he did mean an awful lot to the program, and I really appreciate it. He would come by about once a month down at the Education Service Center, and we'd talk about Edison wrestling and how we were doing and everything. But he was driven to make that program better. Well, as you get into this off season now, how do things look in the future?
You know, they look really bright. Matthan's actually our only senior that finished the season.
That's true.
And we got 17, 18 young guys that are hungry. Our freshmen made a lot of gains this year. They're getting better. Of course, Aryn here is just a sophomore and a state placer, and he'll return.
Excellent.
So the future looks bright for us, I think.
220 is a tough weight class too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Pretty strong.
It is.
Go against some men at that level.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but no job's too big, no job's too small.
There you go. Absolutely. That's how you got to do it. As you look, is the Blue Tea program still working?
They still are. They're our dominant feeder, and you know, we'll practice usually each day from 3 to 5. They come in at 5:30 to 8, and yeah, they help us out a bunch. That's our Booster Club as well as our feeder.
That's key, I think, for wrestling, is that youth wrestling, to get those kids involved early.
I tell you, Bobby Lassiter is another guy that does a great job with those guys. You know, he keeps the Blue Tea up and running, and he's the Booster Club president for us, and he does a great job. We rely on him a lot.
You bet. Well, what was your highlight this year?
I'm going to say just being able to complete the wrestling season. I went like 30, 31, and 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Good
And
season.
Good season for me.
Yeah, no kidding. How about you?
I think finishing and ending up at state was a pretty big goal of mine. I've been wrestling like all 4 years, and I went to state sophomore year, but this is the year I finally made it on that podium. So I feel like that was probably my biggest accomplishment.
That was a big deal, getting on the podium.
Sure.
Making it to that stage with all the kids and everybody who wrestled in the state. Not everybody made it to state,
right.
and not everybody made it to the podium. So that was a big deal.
How is it the aura of the event, the state championship, and the facility that's in? And
it's there's a lot of tension. It's like a lot of hungry people that really want to put out their name. So a lot of people want the same thing, and you just got to want it more than some people.
Sure.
It's hosted at the Jim Norrick Arena, Oklahoma City.
Mhm.
I mean, big arena, hundreds of people there.
Right.
Everybody watching from everywhere, all over the state. Yeah, I mean, and you can hear the crowds go wild. You know, when the wrestlers are doing good or makes a good move or a pin, takedown. A lot of tension in the room.
I tell you, it is unbelievable. I was involved with one state championship when I was at Union, and I'll never forget. We had Midwest City and East Central and Union sitting in the V at the Lloyd Noble Center on the campus of OU, and it got down to the last match, and a kid by the name of Todd Bullock had not lost to Rollinson, had not won to Rollinson in 5 matches. He was 0-5 against him, and it was the last match, heavyweight match in the 6A championship. He beat him 11-5.
Oh, wow.
And we won the state championship by a half point.
That's huge.
But you're right. The crowds get into those individual matches.
Oh,
and
they do.
that means a whole lot to the student athletes, I think. Well, guys, we're glad you're here. Congratulations on a good year. And Jim, let's get to the off season and be back next year.
Thank you. Thank you.
When we come back, we'll have Adina Milner, the head swim coach for Booker T.
Hey, Tulsa, we have a crushing recycle play of the day for you. Team Johnson versus paper and cardboard.
They're starting off slow today, probably trying to figure out what to do with those styrofoam plates, since they're not recyclable.
There's the big play we were waiting for. Boom! Completely empty cardboard boxes dunked in the cart. Score big by recycling your cardboard and paper. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Edison High School has taught me to work as a team rather than as an individual. Whenever you're on a team, you have a special bond with each other. You know you can rely on them in a time of need, whether on or off the court. Whether it be a shoulder to cry on or advice on how you can improve, you know your team will always be there for you.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. We have Adina Milner, the head boys and girls swim coach at Booker T. Washington. Adina, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Who are your guests today?
I have with me my 2 senior captains, Lola Barcus-Schafer and Gus Rolston.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
As you get into your senior year, how did you feel about your swim program this year?
I mean, we didn't have the depth that we've had on the team before, but we still had some good swimmers. I feel like I was pretty confident coming into the season.
Good.
Yeah, unlike the boys team, we had more people, but I was pretty confident too. We had some good, although we had some good seniors leave last year, we also had some good underclassmen that were able to fill in their spots, and it seemed pretty strong this year too.
Coach, what was your evaluation of the year?
It was definitely going in different with the boys team being smaller. I think I was more confident because we were able to practice together compared to the year before, which we were very separated. And so we were able to build more of a team and more of a rapport with the kids, and so they could really bond. And so for me, that was definitely the turning point, and I saw a lot of changes in the team this year because of that.
Did you have some improvements to your facility?
We did. So over the summer, we had they replastered our pool and they redid the lights. So now you can see in there. It's really great.
Nice and bright.
Yes, it's definitely much better. So it was really nice. We just didn't get to swim over the summer because of it, but we still did a strength and conditioning program. So
there's always a risk reward. And if you get a reward, sometimes there's a risk. That was the problem with that. So your seniors,
Yes.
What are your plans next year?
Oh, that's a tough question. I'm not too sure. I'm looking around at a few colleges, swim-wise and not swim-wise. So I just did a recent tour to Austin College, thinking about swimming there.
What do you want to major in?
I'm not sure. It kind of changes all the time, but maybe something in business. I think I want to be like a realtor or something.
I see.
Be interesting.
Property management, whatever.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'm definitely swimming in college. I'm also looking at Austin College. there's a few places scattered through Missouri and Arkansas, and I'm probably going to major in economics. It's actually I have a few options: environmental studies, economics, engineering programs. You know? So it's all over the place.
Well, it's difficult to know.
Yeah.
I spent 18 years as a college athletic director, and one of the rules that the NCAA has when you get ready to start your 5th semester, you have to declare a major. And when I came to Tulsa, we had the magnet program. We had kids that are deciding as freshmen in high school where they wanted to go to school and study what was at that magnet. And I told Dr. Ballard, the superintendent at the time, I said, I got kids in college that changed their major 5 times. That was a 14-year-old better know what they want to do. But you'll find what you want to do. Coach, what do you look at for the future of Booker T Swim?
I'm hoping to gain some more boys for the team. Definitely. It does roller coaster. It's happened before when I first joined. Like the boys team was definitely bigger than the girls team. And I hope that we just keep building the way we are. I felt like this year was definitely a different atmosphere, and I felt like we have a lot of kids that really do want to build the team to be stronger. Even though we're in 6A, just trying to strive for their personal records and still going in there no matter what, and just swimming as hard as they possibly can. And I mean, that's what they did this year at state. We got, 2 podiums, and they broke a record, and 2 records, a meter and a yard record for the girls, and that's what we can ask for. It's just to keep going in there and doing the best that you can.
Well, your Frontier Conference is a pretty tough swim conference, isn't it?
Oh, out with Jinx and Bartlesville and all them, yes.
Union, all the big
all the big
schools.
ones, yeah. Yes, it's definitely but and it's in January, which is a hard time too, because actually a lot of kids start getting sick, but and they start dropping off like flies. But I think they still go in there with a lot of confidence, and we just really get them prepared and ready just by looking at like what kind of times that they want. This year we had a lot of the state times, like 10th place, 16th place, just so they had an idea of where they needed to be with their times to try to make it into state. So
let's talk a bit. What was your impression, both of you, of having to go through a year with a pandemic and being involved with athletics?
Well, it was very difficult, obviously, because, one, we had to separate the team because of, obviously COVID's restrictions. So there was, a morning practice, and then there was, an afternoon practice. You could choose when you wanted to go to. And it also limited, our meets. Although we still had some meets, they were virtual. So you were just racing, your own teammates the whole time instead of people who, yes, your teammates is, competition, but also is, different competition, racing, different kids you're going to actually see at, state and stuff. So it was just it was odd. It didn't feel like a real season
I can
to me.
imagine. What was your impression?
A lot of the time, the competition level was lower in the swim meets. A lot of the time, the events like the 200 IM or the 400 free, there wouldn't be enough boys in those events, so they combine the girls and boys together. So the competition is really strange. But
well, I imagine. Well, I'm glad you made it through, and good luck next year when you go to college. And Coach, good luck with you. And we'll have you back next year, I'm sure.
All right. Sounds good.
And when we come back, we'll have Joanna Bentley, who's the head coach for Edison and Memorial Swim.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against a tough competitor, plastic.
Don't trust those numbers on the bottom. You have to stick to what you know. Only bottles and jugs found in the kitchen, bath, or laundry. They're quick to pick up. And empty those bottles before sinking that shot.
Always empty your bottles before recycling. Score big by recycling your plastic bottles and jugs. Learn more at tulsarecycles.com.
I love Will Rogers Athletics because it helped me physically, spiritually, and emotionally through all the journeys I've been through at that school. All of the support staff helped me a lot, and it's just an amazing school.
Athletics at Will Rogers changed my life because it became a second family. With the support of my coaches and teammates, it's helped me gain confidence, work as a team, and will help me in college and in life.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have Joanna Bentley, who is the head boys and girls coach for Edison and Memorial. You stay busy with that.
I do.
Well, it was an interesting year. Came out of a pandemic the previous year.
Right.
And we got back to semi-normal competition. How'd the year go for both your teams?
It went really well. We managed to put in about 9 swim meets that we attended, and then they were ready for regions. And it takes being ready for regions, it takes getting through regions to go to state, and all of them went through to state. It was an awesome experience. Memorial sent through 2, and Edison sent through 10 in 6A, which is phenomenal. And for the first time in my memory for Edison, a boys relay team went through, and that was just a moment to smile about.
I can imagine, yeah, that qualifying 10 for the state, it had to be fantastic for Edison, because there's no pool in Edison.
That's right. No, we share it at Memorial, and it works out so well, and I just look forward to it continuing.
Well, I think we're very fortunate to be able to have somebody like you that's willing to take that on. You have boys and girls is enough from one school, but you have boys and girls from 2 schools. That's really time consuming.
Yeah, I somehow I make it work. I saw a T-shirt while we were at state, and I thought that should be our logo. We're a swamily, a swim family, a swamily.
Exactly. So, talking about having 4 teams, really.
Yes.
How do you structure your practice schedules?
Well, they all swim. It's co-ed swim training. And I take my developed swimmers, my experienced and upperclassmen, for the first round. I have a full-time job outside of school, so we start at 6:30 in the morning, and they do their workout, and then Edison has it set up as first hour athletics for swim. And so the newer swimmers come in during first hour, which for them, they come in at 7, and they're out by 8:15, so they can get dressed and get some breakfast and get to school by second hour. So it works out that way, and sometimes we'll have an after-school practice, but they work pretty hard. An hour 4 days a week.
How about the feeder program for young kids?
Well, I have the middle school team, which is made up of students from all middle school in Tulsa, as one team, and we have one competitor, Bixby, and so we did 3 swim meets for that. Several of them are going to go to Booker T. 1 or 2 are going to go to Edison, and I'm not sure where the rest of them are going to go. And then following that, and after high school swim, we have a park and rec team, and it's from 8 years old to 15. And so it's a short season for that, 6 weeks. It finishes up this Saturday, and so the kids get to know that there is swim in the future when they get to middle school, and the middle school knows that there's high school swim when they get out of middle school.
Does Thoreau still have a swim program?
Thoreau is combined with all of TPS.
Okay.
So it's not independent anymore.
Okay, I see. All right. Well, that's, as we get into one of the last things that we talked with Dr. Gist and the board about was to expand a number of programs into the middle school.
That'd be great.
Because it was important, to start kids at an earlier age and not have to train them as freshmen.
Right.
That's
exactly
a little bit difficult. So looking to the future in the last minute here, How much longer can you go and do 4 teams?
We'll find out. How much longer can you go, Gil?
Well, I'm still going.
You're
guess.
still
Yeah,
going,
right.
okay.
But no, we really appreciate Joanna taking that over and providing an opportunity for those kids, because otherwise they would not have that opportunity. And I think that's very important. And I always used to say, as the director of athletics, from the last tennis player to the first football player, every program was equally important.
Exactly.
It's important to those parents, it's important to those kids, it's important to the community, it's important to the school, that kids are involved in other things other than just the academic portion of their career. So, well, we're glad you're here. I'm sure we'll have you back next year.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
And when we come back, we'll have John Patosnick, who is the baseball coach at Booker T.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against one tough competitor, glass.
That's right, only glass bottles and jars are recyclable. Don't even think about sinking a drink in glass or mirror. Always good to empty your glass bottles and jars before recycling.
These two get it, emptying both bottles from far out, and they remove the lids. Score big by recycling your glass bottles and jars. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Athletics is so important at Tulsa Central because it's an outlet for some of our kids there. They get a better opportunity to basically give back to our community.
At McLain, the sports is what mainly drives a bunch of the students to come to school every single day and work hard because they want to be able to come from the classroom to the field or the court and show what they're good at.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have John Patosnick, who's the head baseball coach and director of athletics at Booker T. Washington. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, it's baseball season. Boy, we got some great weather this week. And get outside, and if everything's dry enough.
Yeah, and so I mean we're gonna play today and see how it goes, and so get started. And
who you open with today?
Collinsville.
I see.
And so we'll go to Collinsville and play, and then play JV after, and see where we're at. We've had a week off because of the snow and ice, and so.
What effect did it? You've done some work on your baseball field.
It's they're in the process of still working on it, and so hopefully they're going to have some of it done and finished so that we can play next week on it.
I see. Okay. Well, what effect has the weather had on your preseason preparation?
We only got, I think we had 6-7 scrimmages planned, and we only got 3 in, and so it's been a struggle there because we haven't. The kids that needed to pitch a little bit more and get some experience didn't have that time to get that experience, and so, but we'll go play and just try to get better every day.
Yeah, but I always tell you can't worry about things you can't control. You can't control the weather.
That's
the
thing.
Just hook up and go play. Everybody's in the same situation.
Yeah.
Basically. So who are some of your standouts you think for this year?
Jesse Slimp will be our number 1 pitcher, and he's signed in the fall to go to Northern Junior College in Enid, and so we're expecting him to have a big year. Ethan Robinson is our catcher, and he's signed with Mid-American Christian University, and so we're expecting him to have a great year. And we got some other seniors that they've been around the program for a while. Joe Eaves and Dylan Matulis and Cole Cruchon. They've all started some, and so we got some juniors that started last year and got a lot of playing experience. So I mean we have a pretty experienced team coming back, and so we're hoping that helps.
You bet. Well, you're playing a tough league.
Yes, very tough district.
Every week is going to be a battle. And as you look at that, who do you think you're going to have to beat in your district to get there?
Stillwater, they're going to be really tough, and so is Bixby. Those two, but I mean, there's just no pushovers in our district that you can just pencil in that you're going to go win that game.
Right.
And so we're going to have to play great ball every day and see what happens.
6th day, you've got to have depth.
Yes.
You know, people get hurt, arms get sore, and that's one of the things I think you see the change when you go from 5A to 6A. You just got to be deeper.
Yeah.
Everybody else is, and
you got to definitely have pitching depth.
Right. Exactly. So as your schedule works out, you have a spring break trip planned?
Yeah, we're going back to Pensacola.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm playing the tournament that we at Tate High School, and so the kids are looking forward to that.
Who all do you play there? Teams from all over?
Yeah, mainly we'll play Tate High School and Booker T. Washington, both out of Pensacola area, and then we'll play a team out of Alabama, and so you know, the good thing is we never have to play another Oklahoma team when we go there.
That's good. Yeah. We'll play another Booker T team.
Yes.
Booker T to Booker T. That'll be interesting. How's your pitching?
You know, it's unproven. We got some experience, but there's not a lot of experience in the depth, and so there's a lot of good young kids that throw strikes, and so they're going to be counted on this year to pitch a lot of innings, and so we'll just have to see how they go.
You know, throwing strikes is one of the things that when I was the head baseball coach, the last 10 pitches that every pitcher pitched, 7 of them had to be strikes.
Yeah.
Or we're going to throw 10 more. We're going to get it done to get it done. And I think a lot of that is concentration and getting that arm in the right groove and all those things that try to teach.
If you put consequences on them in bullpens, then they usually do better.
There's no question. One of the things we did when I was coaching youth baseball, I sat in the press box one time with J.B. Haney at a regional over at La Fortune, and 3 guys came up to bat trying to bunt, and not one of them could lay the bunt down. And we talked about that. Kids don't do fundamentals. So from that point on, I used to have our hitters would get 50 balls to hit. You got to have 5 fair bunts before you swing. And some people would use all their 50, getting 5 fair bunts. But I wanted everybody to be able to bunt, whether you're 4-hole or 9-hole. You need to be able to bunt. It's a fundamental.
It's a fundamental.
It's one of the things you got to do. So, well, hopefully the weather will hold and you'll be able to get some games in a row and get some repetition, John. Look forward to having you back before the regional time sometime.
Okay.
All right. When we come back, we'll have Gunter, the head baseball coach for the Edison Eagles.
Hey, Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is looking to defend their title against aluminum and steel cans.
Bob, most people think of the kitchen for this opponent, but aluminum and steel cans, like empty shaving cream cans, also play extremely well in bathrooms all over Tulsa. That was nothing but bin, Bob.
Wow, right into the bin. Team Johnson has buttoned up another win. Score big by recycling your aluminum and steel cans. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Edison High School has taught me to work as a team rather than as an individual. Whenever you're on a team, you have a special bond with each other. You know you can rely on them in a time of need, whether on or off the court. Whether it be a shoulder to cry on or advice on how you can improve, you know your team will always be there for you.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have Ty Gunter, the head baseball coach of the Edison Eagles. Ty, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
I tell you what, it's baseball weather this week, isn't it?
It is.
Get up in the 70s, and my goodness, somebody stay close to 80 by the end of the week.
A lot better than the ice that we've been having.
Oh, it's unbelievable. You know, a week ago we're sitting here with not going to school the next day.
Yep.
And today it's all thawed out. But what has that transition time in your off season with the weather, has that affected your preparation?
Not necessarily. Something that us at Edison have really focused on this year is getting in the weight room. Something that, so I got there 2 years ago and trying to implement more and more baseball culture at Edison. And one thing that we really harped on this year was making sure we're in the weight room, getting stronger. Because something that I noticed whenever we first got there, me and my dad, is that we were almost little boys playing against young men. And we had in the fall this year, they did an amazing job working hard in the weight room, and a lot of kids jumped up 10, 15 pounds, and their squat maxes, bench maxes were all rising and going up just because of the work they were putting in. And it's going to be awesome seeing that work being put on the baseball field. And we can already see, like, when we're taking batting practice on the field, instead of a few years ago or last year, baseball's kind of, I don't necessarily want to say dinkers, but, just balls just kind of sailing into the outfield. And now baseballs are being driven into gaps and balls off the wall and kids leaving the yard during BP, which is really cool to see. It's getting back to looking like a baseball team and a baseball program. And so the weather hasn't necessarily affected us, because when we have the bad weather, we just go inside and get a lot of swings in, and we're really huge on working on their mechanics and getting the foundation of hitting really right. So we just kind of, Oklahoma, you just got to deal what comes with you. So
day to day.
Yep.
It's day to day. That's one of the things we always emphasized when I was a head baseball coach, is that we want line drives. Hit line drives. We get them in the gap and whatever. And on the defensive side, I told my pitchers I want belt down strikes, because I want ground balls, so he can feel them and throw them out.
Yeah.
I don't want them to hit line drives. Well, as you get ready to start, when do you open up?
Tonight.
Excellent.
So we go to Jinx. We're going to be the first team playing on their turf field, which is going to be exciting.
Oh, yeah.
And then Friday we go to Tulsa. And then next week we come back home Monday against Grove, start district play.
So you get right into it.
Oh, yeah.
How's your pitching?
Pitching's good. Last year probably struggled a little bit, but granted, we still won 20 baseball games last year. So pitching, very, very important.
Absolutely.
Controls a baseball game, but still being able to win 20 games with our struggles on the mound last year, a lot of hit batters last year for us, and that's something that we're working on is hitting spots better, getting better with location. This year, we have majority of our pitchers coming back. None of my seniors are arms on the mound, so we'll have all of our pitchers coming back next year. So last year we were really young, not a lot of experience on the mound. I think other than one kid last year, nobody else had varsity experience pitching on the mound, and hence all the struggle that happened.
Sure.
But now with all the experience, the confidence, and just from the scrimmages that we've had so far, there's been a lot of improvement, kids being more confident to be in the strike zone, and I think our defense is how good it is helping them be more confident to be in the strike zone. And then so the pitching has just significantly improved, but a lot of it's just from reps. And
tell you that the strike to ball ratio is so important.
Oh my goodness.
The concentration that you need to have. One of the things we did, we would the last 10 pitches, 7 had to be strikes.
Yep.
Every time we had a guy in the bullpen or whatever, for that concentration, we gotta throw strikes. You give us a chance.
Oh yeah.
If you're walking them, we don't have a chance.
Yeah.
I used to say walks and errors will kill you.
Well, it's funny you say the number 7 too, because we talked to our team, is that number 7 in a baseball game. We tried to limit walks, errors, base running mistakes, missed bunt opportunities.
Yeah.
And if all of those things add up to more than 7, it gets tough to win a baseball game. So try to minimizing those mistakes is
from a football standpoint, Vince Lombardi one time said, during the course of a football game, there's 7 plays that will determine the difference in the game. The problem is you don't know when those 7 plays are going to occur.
Yep.
So that's why you have to give 110% every play.
Yep.
That way you don't know. Well, Ty, I'm glad you're here. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
And boy, you got a big 3 games in the next 10 days. So hope you have success, and we'll have you back toward the end of the year.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And when we come back, we'll have Dustin White, the head baseball coach at Will Rogers.
Hey, Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is looking to defend their title against aluminum and steel cans.
Bob, most people think of the kitchen for this opponent, but aluminum and steel cans, like empty shaving cream cans, also play extremely well in bathrooms all over Tulsa. That was nothing but bin, Bob.
Wow, right into the bin. Team Johnson has buttoned up another win. Score big by recycling your aluminum and steel cans. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hales means that you have to be consistent, outgoing, and be dedicated because students at Nathan Hale look up to the football team.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale has taught me to be confident and disciplined and always to be open-minded and always ready to work with people no matter how difficult it is.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have Dustin White, the head baseball coach of the Rogers Ropers. Dustin, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, I tell you what, this week is baseball weather.
Yes, it is.
Last week was skiing weather.
That's typically how it goes. Is you always get those real cold days, and then the sun comes out, and it's time to grab your bat and glove and go play baseball.
How has that hampered your preseason workouts?
Well, I mean, you just kind of do the best you can to get any workout in you can. Luckily, we have a nice indoor facility in our athletic facility there at Rogers. We got a new cage with some turf down. Kids are able to go in there and take some cuts and get some workouts in. So it's always difficult not being able to get outside, but
Sure.
we still get some work in whenever it's wet and cold and rainy. So.
Well, that is a plus. That's it does hamper a little bit because reps are everything.
Yes.
You gotta have those reps in
yeah.
the cage or from the mound or wherever. And so, as you look at your program this year, how do you feel about it?
I feel pretty good. We got our numbers are up as far as participation. We have more kids than we've had in the past couple of years, just with everything that's been going on. So we're growing. A little bit inexperienced, pretty young, but we're excited to get out and start competing and show everybody what Rogers baseball is all about.
It's been good for a lot of years, I can tell you.
Yeah, there's a lot of history everywhere I go. I get everybody talking to me. I've played baseball back at Rogers. Stories about Gordon Morgan. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to see most of it because there's a lot of history.
I tell you, Gordon was let me tell how far back I go. Gordon was the swim coach. He wasn't the baseball coach when I played baseball at Rogers. That was back in the middle '60s. But then I played town team ball with Gordon and a bunch of guys, and he was a tremendous player. But he did a fantastic job with baseball there. And when we moved the facility from the west side of campus to the east side of campus, it was a major move. And but it's a good facility. Have you been able to maintain that?
Yeah, I mean, it is an older facility, but it's really nice. The field plays well. It looks great. Everybody compliments it when they come in. They love coming over to our place and playing. I mean, it is a little old, dated, but we love it. Our kids love playing there, and you have the beautiful school as your backdrop. Right. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter what's going on. You got a great place to play every day you come in.
A lot of tradition to play to. So, what are you looking for this year? Your schedule? When do you open?
We open tonight at Skytook. It's our first game. Going to be a little wet. Coach called me earlier and said, hey, we're going to be a little wet, but let's get out and play. It's going to be 75, 80 degrees this afternoon. Yeah, so, good. I mean, everybody's just itching to get out there and play. So we're looking at maybe just coming in and building some experience and competing every day. Not a whole lot of expectations, but just going in and playing hard.
And what do you have after today?
Later this week, we have Hale at home and Memorial at home Thursday and Friday.
I see. Okay.
And then next week, we get to go to One Oak and play Hale at One Oak on Wednesday evening.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That'll be a great experience for the kids.
Oh yeah, they're excited. They're beating me down every day, asking about, "Are we still going? We're still playing." So they're all excited to go play on that beautiful field they have.
Well, the weather's supposed to be extended. It's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah,
for the next 10
fingers
days.
crossed. Hopefully it stays.
That'll be great.
What?
Who are some of your standouts here in the last minute we got to talk about?
Well, one of my biggest standouts is going to be one of our pitchers who's a junior, Jared Mulvaney. He's a left-handed pitcher, has good velocity, good control, and should be able to go out and compete and hopefully steal a couple games for us.
Good.
And then another one would be a senior, Sean Dolph, who's been a pretty big leader on our team for the past 4 years and been through a lot with everybody, just as everybody else has, and has hung tough and been in there and has become a really good leader.
Good. Well, we're glad you're here today, and good luck.
Good to be here.
You got a lot of games this week.
Oh yeah, it's baseball time.
By Saturday, I think you'll know kind of where you're headed, huh?
Yeah. By Saturday, we'll kind of have an idea of where we're at.
Excellent. Well, we'll have you back toward the end of the year, and when we talk about regionals and that type of thing.
Sounds good.
All right, Dustin, thank you very much, and we'll be back after these messages.
Hey, Tulsa, we have a crushing recycle play of the day for you. Team Johnson versus paper and cardboard.
They're starting off slow today, probably trying to figure out what to do with those styrofoam plates, since they're not recyclable.
There's the big play we were waiting for. Boom! Completely empty cardboard boxes dunked in the cart. Score big by recycling your cardboard and paper. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Booker T. Washington has taught me to carry myself with class as an athlete, student, and friend, and to have responsibility on and off the field.
Being an athlete at Memorial High School has taught me to be a better person, because when you play sports, attitude is the main thing you have to deal with. Not just your own, but other people's. It also teaches you to be the bigger person.
In this episode today, we heard from our swim coaches and our wrestling coaches and how their seasons went as they came to a close. We also heard from the baseball coaches as their season opens on March 1st. In a change in programming, we'll be back next week instead of the regular 2-week cycle to update the progress of our boys and girls basketball teams in the OSSA championships. As spring season begins, I encourage all of you to support our spring sports, which include baseball, boys and girls track, boys and girls soccer, boys and girls tennis, boys and girls golf. Remember, we'll be back next week with our basketball show.